5 years. I'm sure it's going to be a lot longer than that. This tunnel will go out to the left-hand side here. And if you look at the last vertical stone, you'll see that little nib on the top, that tenon. You're going to get some brilliant pictures today because look at those clouds.
This is just what I imagined.
Can you imagine being the Romans, seeing it for the first time? Like, what is that?
Sorry, I totally didn't see you.
Oh, this is the
You see where there was an outer ring and then an inner ring, and they're made out of different kinds of stone. How tall is that one in the middle? I mean,
About approximately very.
no, the one in the middle is like, say, 25 feet tall, 30
Maybe.
feet tall?
Yeah, maybe.
It's massive.
We're kidding.
Yeah.
We'll all take a picture of us.
Here. Whoa.
This is beautiful.
Over here.
There's moss growing on it.
Yeah.
A rolling stone gathers no moss.
These ain't rolling anywhere.
Not for a while.
Yeah. Yes. Road that gets seriously backed up apparently at least in the summer months. The tourist season, we are not in the tourist season. It is December 1st and it feels like it's about 6 degrees out here.
I'm trying to think of how to word this. It is a circle made of dirt, and this is the actual hinge right here. It's, I would say, it's about 3 feet high, and then beside it is a ditch, which probably was even deeper back then, and it wasn't done for safety protection. Whatever this was used for, the stone hinge comes because there's a circle made of stones. The actual word hinge just means the dirt piled up in a circle.
It's hinge, stone.
Yeah.
Works like that.
Not too far away from here, and there is like a highway that was built between the two.
Wow.
But the other hinge was made out of wood.
Oh, wood hinge.
But there is like a highway that goes from here to the river, and then the wooden one is built on the other side of the river, down the riverside. So they travel between this location and that location. Why? We don't know.
Cool. That'll work.
I like it. Need to grab that bag of the nuts before they try and steal it all the way.
Play football, and that was very much the picture of this on this box of chocolates. So that's how it gets the name of the Chocolate Box Village. Now the village of Shrewton has also got another very significant building. Most of the larger villages would have had one of these buildings, and this is a very well preserved example. Lots of them have sort of fallen by the wayside and not been preserved. This one probably houses the Christmas tree, or the when they have an annual fete in the village. It might have the road cones or something of that nature. But it's a really well preserved example of this building, which I want you to try and guess at what it might have been used for. It's just down here on the left hand side. This building just here on the left with this dome top roof. Any ideas what that might have been used for?
Granary or?
Building here. Any ideas?
It's like a little jail cell or something.
A little jail sounds really good to me, because that's what it is.
Okay.
Yeah, we've got
Saw
these
the-
thatched
something
roof
about the
cottages
door.
as well along here, with the owl on the roof, look. Made from the same material. And yeah, so that little building was the village jail or lock-up. If you were found to be laid out in the middle of the village, totally unconscious, you've been in a few pubs, you would have been scooped up and put in the jail overnight to sober up. When you were put in there and they closed the door, you could not see a thing, completely black. Because they were completely black, that's how it got the name of a blind house, because you were blind when you were in there, you couldn't see. So the official name is the Blind House, although it was the village jail. So just along here, you can see now the rest of that group of happy pigs wallowing around in the mud. They're having a great time. And these were all complete with the other pigs that were opposite Stonehenge. If you remember, I said they got split up, but this is where the other group have come to.
They're pretty.
There's some big pigs in this film when you look at them.
They're cute.
But nice, isn't it, to see them out there with all that land to enjoy. So I guess probably being a Sunday, that's why we haven't got much military activity. Now looking at our countryside in general, we've got lots of public footpaths, what we call bridleways. If you see a little sign by the side of the road with a picture of a person on it and a picture of a horse, these are legal rights of way or footpaths that have been established over hundreds of years that often cut through private land. And provided you stick to the footpaths, you're entitled to walk across it. And you can walk the length and breadth of the countryside, the whole of the UK, by using these footpaths. Ideal for groups of people that take part, ramblers, the Ramblers Association. So it's open, the countryside's open to all, even if it's private property. Now this is a road that you've got to be a bit careful on, because it cuts through the centre of Salisbury Plain. See over on the right hand side you've got a white flagpole and this road that cuts across in front of us. With the white flagpole, if there's any military operations going on today, we'd have a red flag flying from the top of it. It means they're using live ammunition in the distance. And these are the tank crossings here that cut across the road. And the thing to remember coming along this road is the fact that these are learner tank drivers. You know, they get used to the tank operations, and they come here to Salisbury Plain to learn to drive. That's why you've got to be a bit careful when you're coming along this road, because not only have you got the red flags that can be flying, although that indicates there's live ammunition being used on the ranges, which is some way away from here. But there's nothing to stop you just parking up and walking off into the fields. That's why they've got lots of signage and they fly the flags. Now up on the top of the hill there we've got the West Down Barracks, one of the many military camps in Wiltshire. Sometimes it has been known in these little villages for royalty to be waiting for us. Wouldn't that be nice? We've got some of the royals just waiting for us to pass by, waiting to greet us. Let's have a look and see what we've got. Have a look, see if we've got anyone waiting for us today, just hanging around to meet us. Alright, there got a couple of royals. Oh yes, look, we've got a couple of royals just hanging there waiting to see us as we come into this little village. Look,
There they are.
could we have Wills and Kate? There they are, just waiting for us at the Rose and Crown. Now, as well as Wills and Kate waiting to greet us, look at that fantastic roof. Traditional thatched roof. Usually made, the main material is water reeds. Secondary material is straw. And then you've got this chicken wire that goes over the top. This is what stops the little squirrels getting inside. And look at that owl on the top of the roof, on the ridge. That's made from the same material. And one of the features of these roofs again is that sometimes the thatcher, the person that constructs the roof, that's his special signature, by the way of saying, the owl, that's what I do to show you that it's my work. Other residents that have thatches done, they will say they want a particular, they might want a rabbit, or they might want some birds, some pheasants. And these roofs, in an ideal location, which this is because it's sheltered, can easily last for 50 years. On the coast, obviously, more exposed to the elements, not quite so long.
That's where we are. That's where the people are.
Okay.
You can as well, you can go on what they
Put
call
that
these
on there.
heritage weekends, where you can learn the skill of thatching.
We're here.
And
This is where
also
Barry's people came from.
dry stone walling, that's another
It's not that
skill
far.
that's in high demand. We've got these magnificent walls, all constructed out of single pieces of stone that don't have any material to bind them together, but they can last for hundreds of years. And the Cotswolds is a place to see them because we've got lots of stone quarries, so it's easy to get hold of this stone. Well, we've got a red flag flying up in the distance there, so maybe a bit of
Bit of thunder.
training going on there on the rifle ranges. what, in London?
Yeah.
Yeah, where this an RAF jet caused a sonic boom and it scared everybody.
Oh, really?
They didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
We must have
Yeah, so here we are. That's the typical, the red flag flying over there on the left. They'll be using the Rangers in this particular area. Got plenty of the warning signs along here. Tank crossing. So if we did get hit by a tank, they'd say, well, why didn't you read the sign? It tells you, look, tanks crossing.
That's what a sign's for.
Learner tank drivers. There's some very nice sights if you were to carry on further west. You might want to go and explore what we call the Jurassic Coast. Coastline 96 miles long of millions of years of fossilised history. You've got camps such as Lulworth Camp. You go down into Devon, you've got Dartmoor. That's where the Royal Marines Commando do their a lot of their training, because it's very rugged terrain, all these granite rocks and high tors, so ideal for military training. Is everybody warm enough? Are you getting warm enough now?
Yeah.
You're not? Yeah. So there is another opportunity when we get to Avebury. You know, as I say, we won't be there too long. Just a chance to get some pictures. They've got a little cafeteria there. They also do hot drinks to take away in the pub. The Red Lion.
What is it called? The pub at Disney World?
And then
Yeah,
from
that's what I thought.
Avebury to Laycock, we're only talking about half an hour drive.
It's just beautiful.
Didn't think it would be this green in December.
December, I know it. Just imagine it this summer. Or the fall.
Now you may have seen that passing through this road we've got, again, lots of bus stops. So if you haven't got a car, you live at one of these sort of more remote properties, it's not a problem. You have got a regular bus service. But it's surprising the size of the buses actually that use this road. You know, when I first started coming along this back road, and I was met by a double-decked bus, I thought, wow, you know, I didn't expect that. I thought it was going to be mainly single-deckers, but they do drive double-decker buses along these roads. Now in these villages, I often get asked the question, you know, who lives here? You know, it's all very quiet. Well, it's quite a mixture really, because you've got obviously people that are retired. You have got businesses around here. You know, we'll see in a minute we go into the next village. Have got a private school. We've got a few B&Bs as well. They're actually carrying out a new roof along here, which might be worth having a quick look up at. A thatch roof, new roof just under construction, just along here on the left, where we've got these traffic lights. Yeah, you've got bed and breakfast owners, and you've also got people that commute to work, and they go long distance. 2.5 hours is not uncommon to travel to work, especially if you're coming back to the countryside. And you can say as well, you live under that banner of the Cotswolds. Here we are, this is the thatch just here on the left, just where you've got this scaffolding. Pub's managed by Wadworths. They're the local brewers. And they're based in a town called Devizes, which we'll be going through very shortly. Got some very old Tudor style houses on the right. And this is the Georgian Dragon, again that's owned by Wadworths, the local brewer. You can't go in it, it's all sealed up. The only things that are allowed on it are the sheep. And it's quite a sight to see actually. You see it in the distance there. Coming along this road, sometimes you'll see all these white dots all over the hill and you think, well what's going on over there? Of course it's the sheep. You know, good trying to cut that with a lawnmower. So the sheep go in again and keep all the grass nice and trim. Doesn't normally have that lake outside. That's all the rain that we've had just recently. And he actually put in some more modern day precast concrete lower stones, which we'll see coming along here now. Because without them, you would just look at it and think, well, I'm not sure, how is that meant to be an avenue in? Because there was only a few of the remaining original stones. So whenever you see a much lower stone with a triangulated top, these are the stones that Alexander Keeler put in the ground. So as we can see, all the stones are just random shapes. As we get down to the bottom, we've sort of got fewer and fewer of the original stones. Now that bank to our right, to the left of us, this is the henge. This is the top of the henge. So I usually find a visit just across to the centre of the stone circle, just here on the right hand side. Get some really good pictures of those large stones, and then you might want to just go up here to the top. I call the viewpoint because
we're in the little town of Avebury in the Cotswolds.
Yeah, we're in the Cotswolds.
And this is the largest stone circle in the world. It doesn't have the lintels across the top the way that Stonehenge does, but they have more stones. They have about 90. And the henge itself, you see where the people are standing on top of the hill? That's the henge. It looks almost like a moat. You can tell where they've been digging. I believe these are markers to show where the stone was supposed to be. There's stones all around that side. These are amazing. they are very 6 foot. It's huge. This is the hinge. I would say, how far down is that? 20 feet, 25 feet? And then it goes up. So from the top to the bottom is probably 50, 60, 70 feet. If not more. Here's the processional walkway. They have markers where the stones used to be that came up to the hinge. I am standing on top of the hinge. It goes down into the town of Avebury. Go in the pub.
The pub, could be. Very good, yes, jolly good, yes. Pub. Red Lion, right there. Have I been here too long? Possibly, could be. Hey, wink, nudge, say no more.
Can you see it? Just there.
Yeah. All the way to the left.
Yeah, I'm getting
It's really cool. Looks like a giraffe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
It looks much more impressive, obviously, going up the hill. Also, Camilla Parker Bowles' daughter, actually got married in the church in the village of Laycock. And the reason for this is because the Queen Mother always used to attend regular galas at Spy Park, which we've just gone past. The St Cyriac's Church. You will also see this picture of that royal wedding. All good?
We are now.
Okay, so the 1995 version of Pride and Prejudice, which is really the only version.
We know.
This was
Keira Knightley doesn't exist, we know.
No. Colin Firth all the way.
Right.
This was town. So all the scenes where they were walking through town or running into the soldiers, that was here.
Okay, very good. And the famous spot is right here, the Red Lion. Apparently. I've seen the movie, it was a mini-series.
I don't remember the Red Lion at all, but
Okay.
I'll have to watch it again.
We have it, we own it.
Yeah, I don't watch it all the time.
We don't have my favorite version though. And I've never read the book.
I have.
And somewhere around here they have filmed Downton Abbey episodes, I don't know. This is the village part, minus the vehicles. It really doesn't, but poor baby. It's cold. It's so cold.
That's how I feel right now too.
Yeah. I'm making a really good treadmill video here. Sure. I love this. I've never lived anywhere that had stuff like this. I guess Hudson Valley would be the closest to having anything like this.
Boston looks.
I suppose Boston would, but I've never even visited Boston.
I mean,
I'm
it's
making
not
England before I make
this
Boston.
old, but it's close.
Hey, there's Paul. There's our tour guide. Very, very nice gentleman. I could have him take me around the whole country. Very knowledgeable. He's our Ángel de Jesus of England. Very knowledgeable.
We should have just spent the whole week in
Just
England.
doing. Well, I'm saying if we came back,
Yeah.
we could do England without London,
Right. Or Scotland.
or do Scotland and England. Like, yeah. Like we're doing London and Paris, we could do Edinburgh to whatever.
Yeah.
We talked about that before. somebody's shoes. There's the bakery, the Laycock Bakery.
Yay, let's go there.
Let's go in there.
Mama's hungry.
Very, very much. Oh, I'm getting British, aren't I? That's funny. I'll walk out of an English movie and just talking like that. And I've been here. I'm keeping it in check pretty well, I think.
Every once in a while, you just can't help yourself.
I can't. I can't.
I'm doing it too, though, so.
It's like Christine was saying last night. I can't.
She's Scottish.
Well, she was a Scottish actress. Okay, that explains that. It was weird watching that show with an actual British cast.
Well, he was Australian.
Well, you know what I mean, though.
Yeah.
It didn't. None of it sounded forced.
Right.
But I was like, why did the American actors try to sound British when it's a French show?
Yeah.
Try to sound French. I suppose. Anyone wondering, we're speaking of Phantom of the Opera.
Let's see.
Yep.
Yeah. So we are in the town of Bath.
Who was this guy?
Who was that one on the scene? There's some labels around here.
That's where Russell Crowe broke every bone in his body, apparently.
Yeah. It's not even a good place to jump from.
No, it's not.
How did they do that? Anyway.
That's trick camera angle.
This is the River Avon. But it's not where you get skin so soft.
Bath.
Look at the trains, like, I could just wait.
He likes hats. This is Bath Abbey.
This is Bath Abbey. It's Jacob's Ladder. The angels.
It almost does reach to heaven, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, this is huge. It is so tall. I guess they wanted to make sure God could see it. Paddington Station. Headed for Arlington, Windsor.
Yeah.
Going to Windsor Castle today. And if anyone knows me at all, they know I love train travel. This train is nice. It's caught somewhere between Amtrak and Metro North Railroad. Oh, there's a subway train, the tube train.
Is it going underneath?
Yeah, it's going underground.
to Windsor. This was actually pretty easy getting to Windsor from London. It looked really complicated on paper, but it was totally painless. There's Barry. He's left me behind again. Looks like this is...
Changing, he's just guarding.
This is what used to be the moat of the original castle. I believe that was the first piece built. This is the Queen's flag that they fly whenever she's home. She says she considers this her home more so than Buckingham Palace. The castle is over 1,000 years old and it has been continuously inhabited. This is the oldest castle in England that's been continuously inhabited. So we Windsor Castle. We've already done the tour of the state apartments, which they would not let us take photo or video in there. So I'll just have to tell you from word of mouth, it's fantastic. This is the square tower there. That's where the fire started in 1992, and it spread. They're doing some renovations. I really can't get it all in one shot. It's so massive. The Queen is home today. Her flag was flying as we walked in instead of the Union Jack. That's how we know. And they're closing down Windsor Castle for touring early today, about 2 p.m. So that means they're having some sort of function here tonight, and they have to sweep all the guests out. But Barry just heard that Donald Trump was in town, and that means there's going to be protesters at Trafalgar Square.
Yeah, well, we won't be there tonight. Are we?
No,
I don't think so.
not now.
Our theater's nowhere near there.
No, it's by our hotel.
It ain't coming fast either, because it's ours.
Oh well.
This is a
I'll
customer
still get it.
announcement. Timetable changes happen from the 15th of December. Check your new journeys at gwr.com/timetable 2019.